Today we are working on an '07 Toyota Yaris. We are going to be replacing the front lower control arms. This is my folks car here, and the issue is that the rubber bushing at the back here has started to disintegrate. So it's kind of a preventative maintenance almost. It's not fully gone yet. So there's one bolt, a vertical bolt that holds it. There's the front bushing as well with a bolt that's through it, and obviously the ball joint nut as well. As you can see, this the left side I've been already starting to take apart, and I'll walk you through in detail how to do the right side. You can see the front bolt does hit the lower oil pan there, so you do need a jack to lift it up. Tools you're going to need as a ball joint separator, very handy tool. Pretty much all you need is a 19 mil socket, wrench. The offset works if you don't have any flex handle ones. Impact gun to make things easier. All right, so to get this going here, you need to remove the transmission mount bolt. That'll allow you to jack up the whole assembly. And again, these flex head ratchet wrenches do make life a lot easier, and I'll show you later where that does come in handy. So you pull that out, jack it up. See, now you can pull that bolt out, no problem. You can use a gun to pull that guy out. It's not torqued too hard. Ball joint separator on there. And now we're just gonna crack that open. You'll see a big snap. And rather than wailing on the knuckle forever, you just do this with the ball joint separator. You can stick it in there. The instructions say actually to remove the CV joints. You do not need to do that. There's plenty of room to sneak in a 19 mil wrench to open up that nut for the ball joint. There you go, that's separated, and you just yank it out. There's a little slot that's kind of holding it in there, so if you just use a pry bar to pull the rest of it out there. God, that is so crusty underneath this car. I'm just showing what it looks like here. New unit going in. These are by TRW. They're $50 a side. TRW is a great tier 1 OEM supplier for a lot of manufacturers. Good quality part. Keep in mind, do not torque these front part, the tubular right there, where I'm putting the bolt in. Do not torque those in until the vehicle is at ride height. Use just a little hammer to slap that in there. A little bit of blue Loctite, never hurt nobody. These ones can get tightened down. And make sure you put that in there. On this one, I forgot to orient it. Usually I orient the hole for the cotter pin front to back, so it's easier to slide it in, but it was still managed to be able to do it. As you can see, there's plenty of clearance to put in the snap-on box end wrenches that are kind of large actually, and there's plenty of room between the knuckle and the CV joint. So just put the cotter pin in there, splay that open, lock that in place. Oh, just a little light tap. I didn't force it in there. And you want to get that snugged up, but again, not torqued down. And I actually have no idea what the torque specs are on this, but just from my experience, nice and pretty snug is sufficient on these guys here. That bolt should be pretty tight because that is located in the lower subframe assembly. So again, now is the right side of the assembly. This will be a little more in depth because I haven't taken anything apart. I just soaked everything in some penetrating fluid. So you can see again, I have removed the transmission cross member, the support bolt there, and we're going to run into some issues here again with that bolt. So we're going to have to lift it up. Removing the cotter pin right now. Needle nose pliers work pretty darn good for this usually. There it was. And now I'm just going to kick it because there's limited room. So if you just give it a nice little whack there, usually cracks it open, and the rest you can do by hand. As you can see, I'm going on with the open side of the wrench because if you do keep backing it off with the closed side, then you can run into an issue where you trap yourself. So use the open side to run that nut off. Plenty of room to take that off. See? We're gonna move back to this locating big boy here, pretty crusty. And this is where the flex head ratchet wrench comes in real handy because you can see at the bottom of the subframe, you can't swing it all the way down. So if you just work from your way from the top a little bit, it allows some room here to maneuver. To burn that out. And now you have plenty of space. I'm going to have to jack it up a little bit. As you can see behind me, where the lower mount, you know, that went forward about 2 inches. Now we're going to separate the ball joint. We get a nice crack here. There we go. Then we're just pulling it. So again, that rear part is stuck in that little assembly. You can actually see a little bit on that rubber when I was pulling it out where it was starting to separate. So it was not a critical failure yet. Thankfully, these bolts were not seized in the sleeves as well, because that would have made a whole massive problem. So here I'm just kind of fighting it in to get into that slot a bit. Snug that in. Run your front bolt in. Again, do not torque this until the vehicle is resting on its own weight. Otherwise, you will prematurely wear out that tubular bushing. This time I did orient the cotter pin hole to be fore aft facing, so it's much easier to run your cotter pin and lock it in place. It's a ball joint, so I don't know, snugging, maybe there's about 90 foot-pounds on there or so. Put the cotter pin in, bend it over, there you go. Now you lower that down, lower it all the way, you just sneak that bolt in, plenty of room, easy, you don't have to fight anything. And this is definitely can be a driveway job. Total all in, taking my time and BSing with my dad took about an hour, both sides. And there you go. Put your wheel back on, set it back on the ground, and remember to give yourself enough room to tighten down those nuts there. Thank you for watching.